Okay, so a little bit about me. I've been a Christian all my life. I grew up in the church. My mom is a minister. My grandmother is a bishop. Um, I used to sing for like the choir. Ever since I was really little, I would sing for the choir um, at a lot of churches. I started singing when I was like 4. I don't know. I was super young. Um, but yeah, I don't really sing anymore like that though. But yeah, I've been a Christian all my life. Um, but the churches that I was going to when I was younger, they weren't like the preachers. They weren't very good at like teaching the word. Like they were good at like, okay, this is what it says in the Bible, but like not like breaking it down. So like I never really understood like what I was receiving when I was in church. Not until like recently, like these last 2 years in the church that I've been going to since I moved. Like my pastor, she's really good at explaining everything. But yeah, that's a little background on me. So I don't really know how to go about this video right now, like what to say. Um, just I guess it would all start like when I was dating this guy. We started dating. I was like 16, I think. Um, and I didn't know anything about relationships, about love. Like, I was so in love with the idea of love. I didn't even know what love was. Like, so I got with this guy, and we were it's sophomores in high school. Sophomores or juniors, I don't know. Um, but yeah, we started dating, and like, there were so many red flags, guys. But I was so set and fixed on the whole like this has to happen. Like I'm gonna get married. This is the guy that I'm gonna marry. Da 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 da. And just trying to shape my life the way that I thought it needed to be. And yeah, we were together for 3 years. And in the like the first year was cool. Like it was puppy love. Like the whole first year, and then things just had started to hit the fan. Um, so pretty much like whenever I would get a boyfriend, like that was like a boyfriend is how I like filled that void within me. Because like when I was younger, I was like insecure. I didn't like my skin tone. Like all the girls that was like light skin would get all the play and everything. Like just that stereotype. Like, oh, she's dark skinned. You look dirty. You look like a monkey. Da 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 da. So I was insecure about that. So I guess to fill that void, I would date guys, and like once I broke up with a guy, I would have another guy, and like it was just a constant cycle with that. So it's like I was never single for more than like a month. Like I'm laughing about it, but it's just like it's that's pathetic, but that's true. um so yeah. But back to my boyfriend of 3 years. So yeah, we started dating like sophomore year in high school. Like I could tell he wasn't the one for me because like with the whole lying stuff, with the he liked attention. And I feel like the person for me is only gonna like attention from me. But he was insecure, honestly. Yeah, he was insecure. He liked attention from other people and definitely like other girls. Like in our senior year, that's when things really started to hit the fan. Like pretty much like I was really in love with him. He became my everything. Like my everything. What he said went. Like I cut off so many friends, and like when I was younger, I was like a tomboy when I was younger. So I was like really into sports and everything. Um and a lot I vibed with guys more than girls. So yeah, like I had a lot of guy friends before I got with him. So I guess those guy friends liked me, and people would tell my boyfriend that, oh, this guy likes Shelly, but he was like my best friend. And he'd be like, okay, well, if you love me, then you're going to cut him off because our relationship means more than your friendship with him. And then I would just like I did it, but like I didn't understand because it's like, I don't do that with you. I don't do that with the girls that you hang out with, that you're hanging out with at 11, 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night and smoking weed with. But a guy that I'm just friends with that has a crush on me, I can't be friends with him because he has a crush on me. But I'm with you, and I'm not over here giving them no play. Like, I'm just being their friend. But I cut them off and I stopped being friends with them, which was a very bad idea because eventually, like, I didn't have any friends, and like, I really still don't have any friends. I'm about to like, I'm getting emotional, but like, I don't have any friends. Mm. I did so much. I did so much to like keep him happy that like I really I lost myself in him. He became my everything. Like, I was no longer me. I was him. Like, I was what he wanted me to be. Like, I was just talking to my little brother about this yesterday. Like, he became my God. Like, when I would pray, it got so bad that, like, he consumed me so much that when I would pray, like, saying, Dear God, like, starting out your prayer, like, being, Dear God. And, like, that freaked me out because it was, like, I never once slipped up and called God the wrong name, especially, like that. I lost a lot in that relationship. I lost my virginity. I lost my sanity. I lost friends. All of my friends, pretty much. All of my friends. My peace. I became so, like, if I weren't insecure in the past, I became so insecure when I was with him because, I don't know, like, whatever I would do for him was just not enough. It wasn't enough. Like, I could literally bend over backwards, do a cartwheel, freaking spin on my head, drop it to a split, like anything to accommodate him, to make him feel like to make him feel like, to make him feel good, And it just wasn't enough. And I eventually, like, started to believe, like, I'm not enough. Because I'm not enough for him. I got a car. And I'm like, oh my God, like, we're able to see each other now, like, more often now because you have a car, I have a car, like, there's no more excuses. Like, in 2016, that car, it just stopped working. Like, whenever I would try and go to his house, something would always happen. Either it'd be like a natural disaster or the car itself just was like, nah, like, nope. Like every little thing just started to keep me from seeing him. And I remember like I would pray like, God, um, if this relationship is within your will, then bless it. You know, bring peace to it. You know, like um, allow us to love each other and to forgive each other and to be within your will. And pretty much the opposite would happen. Like he would keep us away from each other. Like we would fight more. Like after I would pray, and I'd be so pissed because I'm just like, yo, I just prayed to you, and you did you not hear me? Closer to the end of our relationship, like I really began to seek God. Like I began to really desire a relationship with him because, like I said, I was afraid. I was like, I wasn't saved. I wasn't saved back then. I got saved in, it was between June and August of 2016. I don't remember the exact date, honestly. But leading up to that, I just felt like I was going to die. Like either from committing suicide because I was like so depressed and everything because the person who was my best friend or was supposed to be my best friend, like he would choose other girls or he would choose his homeboys over me. And so I didn't have anyone to talk to. I stopped talking to my mom about things because I felt like I was stressing her out about the situation. Like, cause I would be talking to my whole family about everything that I'd be going through with Miles, and um, I would be telling my mom like stuff like this, like that I will be praying like this, and she was like, Shelly, you have to remember that God is a God of free will. So this may be within your will, but this probably isn't in Miles's will. Miles probably doesn't want that. That's probably why with you praying this it's not coming to pass because you want this, but Miles doesn't want this. God is not just going to honor your word. He's going to honor everyone's word, everyone's will. So that was like, oh, bummer. Like I was upset because I'm just like, that's true. Like God's not going to sit here and just be like make things happen for you, especially when it regards another person, and just honor your will and like disregard theirs. Like God's not going to sit here and force anyone on him. He's not going to sit here and require anyone to love him or do anything for him. God is not that type of God. He wants you to desire the relationship with him. So for me praying to God and asking him to like pretty much like cause our relationship to be what he wants it to be, it's like, no, we have to want that. We both have to want that, not just one party. Like both parties have to want that. And I was upset about that because I'm just like, Miles doesn't want this. And like I remember I would just be like trying to like force Miles to like love God the way that I want the way that I loved God, and like force Miles to do things that he didn't want to do, and like go to church and everything. And Miles, he didn't want to go to church. He said he didn't like my church and he wanted me to go to his church, but I didn't want to go to his church because it was like a Catholic church, and that too, like we were two different denominations, and that's another reason like that why it was such a divide between us, is because like he was Catholic, I was Christian. Like God doesn't have any favorites. So he's not going to sit here and be like, okay, Shelly, since you desire this, then I'm just going to grant it for you. And he's not a genie. He doesn't grant wishes. He doesn't, just snap fingers and poof, like perfection. Like, I mean, he I guess like he's a perfect God, but he's not a genie. He's not a magician. But yeah, like he's not going to sit here and just like do something for one person and not honor the other person's will. So that was another reason, like what I wanted, Miles didn't want. So God's not going to force anyone to want him. Because every night, like, I would be like screaming and like crying myself to sleep, and like literally like in my room screaming at the top of my lungs, and like pleading, like, make it stop, Lord, stop this, like, I'm tired, like, I'm so done, like, I don't want to be here anymore, like, I can't take this anymore. Like, in the beginning, I wasn't asking him for help, I was just like asking him to stop it. But eventually I started asking, like, help, Lord, help, like, I need you. And the night that I got saved, I remember I was crying and I was screaming at the top of my lungs, and I already knew in my gut and my spirit, like, you're not saved, but you need to be saved. And I was like screaming and crying and so sad, and like my heart was like racing, and I was like having like heart palpitations or whatever, however you say it, like, you know, when your heart just like starts boom, boom, and then it just like boom, 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 boom. Like, I don't know if that's the right thing, but like my heart was just like, I really felt like I was gonna have a heart attack. And I remember like crying out to him, like, whatever you want from me, I'll do it. And then I said like the sinner's prayer. Like, I looked it up online because I didn't know it. So I looked it up online, and I remember saying it, and like I meant it. And I remember like his peace like fell over me, like I was at peace, and I was finally able to sleep. Like, that was another thing, like, it was so hard for me to sleep because I would be so anxious about Miles and what he was doing, and because I already knew he was like out with girls, especially this one particular girl from his job that I knew he liked. I just knew that they liked each other because, again, he was like hiding stuff from me and pretty much making excuses as to why they can still be friends and why I didn't deserve the friends but he deserved all the friends. So I was like having anxiety attacks because of, like, I would just know in my gut, like, something wasn't right, something, like, he was doing some dirt, but I just didn't have any proof, you know? The only proof that I had was the gut feeling and just knowing that something wasn't right. But yeah, like, whenever it was time to sleep, I would hate trying to go to sleep because I would always be anxious. Like, I would never be at peace, and like, in order to sleep you have to be at peace. I feel like I can't go to sleep when I'm like, I don't think anyone can go to sleep when they're having an anxiety attack. Yeah, like, I couldn't sleep. And I remember crying out and like saying, like, Lord, I need you to come into my life. I want you in my life. I need your help. I want to change. I don't want this anymore. I asked him, like, I was like, forgive me of my sins. Forgive me for walking outside of your will. Forgive me for making a God out of Miles and our relationship, and pretty much like trying to prove you wrong. I'm trying to prove your word wrong, because the whole time I was just trying to prove God wrong. Like, I can do this without you. I don't need you in my life. And the whole time God was just trying to show me, like, he was showing me like how wrong I was. Like, I needed him in my life. I needed him, his protection. I needed his love. I needed his peace. I needed his guidance, his help, everything that he had for me. I needed it. And why I was going through what I was going through is because I kept rejecting it. So I said the sinner's prayer. And I remember, like, after that, I could breathe. I remember, like, I was still, like, kind of, like, crying. But I was, like, at peace. And I could sleep. And when I had that feeling, y'all, I was like, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I can do this. Like, I got it. Like, um, I was like, I can do this. I was like, I can break up with him. But, I mean, I didn't immediately break up with him. After, when I got saved, I was still going through, everything. Like, I didn't break up with him until between 3 and 5 months after I'd gotten saved. I didn't break up with him. But this was another thing that was like keeping us, because I started praying to God and being like, Lord, give me a reason to not have sex with him so that I don't have to have sex with him. And y'all, like, I'm telling you guys, when I really started praying to God, like, God was listening. Like, he was listening. I remember I was like, Lord, give me a reason. Hold on. I was like, give me a reason to not have to have sex with him, because I hated it. Like, I hated having sex with him, because every time I would have sex with him, I felt convicted, you know? Like, I knew I didn't want that. Yeah, I knew I didn't want that, and like, I felt like I was just constantly ripping like a piece of me, like just tearing at my heart and everything. And I'm just like, Lord, I don't want to have sex with him anymore. I'm tired of being outside of your will, you know? And so I was like, give me a reason to not have sex with him. And this is crazy, but this is probably like graphic, but my vagina literally closed. Like, it literally shut itself. Like, nothing could get in there. Like, whenever we would try to have sex, like, he couldn't get himself in me. Like, my vagina was not trying to open. Like, even, this is, I know, like, y'all probably don't want to hear this, but like, even trying to shove like a finger up in me was not working. And I was just like, I thought like something was wrong with me, but I was like, but something like deep down in me was like, you prayed for this and he did it for you. Like, you said you didn't want to have sex, remember? And you don't have to have sex. So, yeah, like, we weren't able to have sex, but that was another thing. Like, it was like tearing us apart, because like, the foundation that our relationship was built on lies, was built on sex, was built on infatuation and lust, all those things. And everything was like, that was happening was kind of like not allowing those things to be nourished. So the lust that he and I had for each other was kind of being like broken, because we weren't allowed to, we weren't able to have sex. Like, he started to like kind of like hate me, or like despise me, not really love me the way that he said that he did, because we weren't able to have sex. And like, for him, I remember him telling me like, sex is how I would show a girl how much I love her. And I was just confused, because it's like, we're virgins, like, we don't even know what we're missing out on. So it's like, you don't really know what you're missing out on if you've never experienced it, you know? Like, I can understand now, like, not being a virgin, and then me being like, oh, like, I need me some, you know? Like, but I'm even now, I'm not even like that. Like, but with him saying like, I'm a virgin, and then saying, pretty much saying like, he's missing out. And it's like, you don't even know that you're missing out on anything, because you're a virgin, right? Like, you can't, if I never tried a cheesesteak, I would never know that what I'm missing out on, because
I never tried it, you know? Like, if you never tried something, you don't know what you're missing out on. So that's what kind of like threw me off. It's just like, how can you say that this is how you're going to express yourself? Like, I don't know. That was just for me. Like, I'm just like, you make no sense right now. But I still gave in because I was naive. I was desperate. I wanted to prove God and everyone else wrong when it came to relationships, and thinking that I knew what was best. Like, the person that created me doesn't know what's best for me. I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. I knew. Yeah, right. Yeah, we didn't break up until November 16th. And I remember this day because I remember taking a picture. I took a picture on Snapchat of myself. I didn't cry. I didn't cry when we broke up. Actually, I was so relieved. I was so relieved when we broke up because I had just moved out of state. I had just moved, and where I moved to was like paradise. Like, I'm telling y'all, like, if y'all saw where I lived, it was like literally like walking on a resort, or like it was like always like it looked as if you lived on vacation. Like, that's where I lived. And I was just like so at peace like when I moved. It was like July, like mid or late July, and my sister was talking about something like, Shelly, I'm moving and I want you to go with me. But I need to know ASAP. And like, if I had have gotten that job, I would have said no. So that I'm like so thankful that my car stalled, because if my car didn't stall, then I would have still been where I was living, and probably wouldn't even be alive right now, because I probably would have just said, you know what, because I probably would still be with that guy. I would still be dealing with anxiety and everything, depression. I probably would have committed suicide, honestly. Like, I'm sure of it. Like, this is how you know, like, I was not, like, the Lord was trying to move me out. Like, everything that was, like, keeping me from Him, to tear our relationship apart, like, to tear it apart, like, layer after layer. Let me see. This is how the Lord was tearing our relationship apart. It was like, boom. Like, what? You want what? You need that, Shell? All right, boom. Like, tearing our relationship apart. Like, that's how good He was to me. Like, I was like, whoa, like, this is how you know. I'm like, well, you are really listening to me right now. Like, you are listening to me so much right now. Like, more than I've ever. Then I don't know. Like, if you ever were listening to me, I never really noticed. But now, like, right now, I'm noticing, like, you're real. Like, you are real and you are really present. Like, and I was just, like, so grateful and everything about it. Like, I got 20%. But yeah. So I moved, me leaving and everything. And, like, I wanted him to go with me. That's like, don't get me wrong, guys. Like, I was still stuck on him. Even in spite of everything that God was doing for me, I was still stuck on him. So I was like, I want you to come with me. I need to block that out. I was like, I want you to come with me. I want you to come live with me. And he was like, no. He was like, I don't even want you to go. He didn't want me to go, guys. He was like so pissed when I kept it a secret from him until it was like a week or 2 weeks before, probably like a week before I was going to leave. I kept it a secret from him, and I told everyone. I told my mom, I told my sister that I moved with. My dad knew. Like, I only told like immediate family, people who like it would make sense for them to know. I told them But I didn't tell him that I was going to go. I was just like saying, like, hypothetically, if I were to go, I would want you to come with me, you know? And he pretty much was like, no. He was like, I don't want you to go. He's like, you're gonna meet someone better up there than me. I already know it. But then, like, he would also be like, you're not gonna meet anyone better than me. Like, he would always say like that I would meet someone better, but they wouldn't be better. Like, if that makes any sense. Like, he would, his insecurities would come out, but then he would try and cover it up and be like, actually, scratch that. You're not gonna meet anyone better than me. Like, and it's just like, bro, you just said I was going to, and now I'm not going to. But like, yeah, he was like, no, I don't want to go there. He was like, there's nothing there for me. And I was like, but I'll be there. So that kind of like hurt my feelings because it's like, because like, I'm like, I'll be there. And he was like, yeah, I don't want you to go. He's like, you should just stay here. And I'm just like, no, I don't want to stay here. I'm like, I'm not happy here. And like, you see that I'm not happy here, and you want me to stay here? And he's like, I don't make you happy. Like, so you're trying to say like I don't make you happy, Shelly? And eventually I'm just like, no, you don't. Like, you don't make me happy. Like, you really don't. Like, and then he would be mad, but it's just like, I remember asking him, I'm like, do I make you happy? And he would be like, yes. I'd be like, you dang lie. Like, you lying? Why are you lying right now? Like, why are you gonna lie? Like, but yeah, like, he would be like, yeah, you make me happy. And I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, I make you happy because I accommodate everything that you want. Like, everything that you say, I do. That's why you're happy. You're comfortable. Like, you have everything. You have me, you have everything. Or whatever, like, what you want, you have. That's why you're happy. Because you have, like, a loyal girl by your side that's doing all this extraness for you. And you have these other girls on your side that do more. So it's like, when I'm not around, you still have something. When I'm around, you have everything, you know? I took a picture of myself because I saw that I wasn't crying. And I wanted to be able to, like, look back at that picture and, like, if I ever felt sad or something, it's just like, the day that you guys broke up, you never cried, so why cry now? And I'm not going to say, like, I didn't cry, because eventually I did cry. There were days that I'd be like, Lord, like, why? Like, why would you, pretty much, like, why would you allow me to be with a person for so long? Why would you allow so much to happen? Why would you allow me to walk so far outside of your will? Why? Like, pretty much, like, why would you let this happen? Why would you, like, I could be a virgin right now. Like, there's so much that could have been avoided if you didn't let it happen. And it's just like, you know, always trying to put blame on God. But we have free will, guys. We have free will. God allows things to happen because he doesn't force you to do anything. And I think that's what people don't understand. It's like, things happen because God allows free will. We all have a choice. We just have to choose what is right. And he will honor whatever choice we give him. Or dishonor, you know? Like, if you choose him, then he will allow things to happen so that you can stay within his will if that's what you desire. But if you don't desire that, then he's not going to force you to stay in his will or to get in his will. And that's why things happen. That's why seasons in our lives are prolonged, because the Lord gives us free will. And he'll send us signs that we ask for, or even that we don't ask for, that'll show us, like, red flags, and show us, like, when we're not within his will or when we are within his will, and you will be able to see it. But us being human and usually just wanting, like, fleshly desires and everything, wanting to be right and everything, we will rebel. That's just who we are. We're humans. We do that. God is forgiving. Like, he's forgiven my sins. He's given me countless chances after chances after chance. Like, there's so much, even after I'd gotten saved, that I did, and that would just have me questioning, like, are you really saved? Like, or like, do you really, not really, are you really saved? Because I knew I was saved, but just like, do you love God? Because if you love God, you'll obey him. You'll honor his word. You won't be over here being rude to people. You won't be over here cursing, drinking. You won't be committing adultery or fornication. Is adultery? I don't know. You won't be over here having sex, you know? Like, if you really love God, you obey him. Like, with everything that you've been through, with all the things that the Lord brought you through, of all the things that the Lord brought you through, you're going to sit here and do this? Like, that's when I knew, like, that's not what I want. I want to stay within the Lord's will. I don't want to sit here and feel as though I need to have sex with someone just for them to love me, for them to want to be married to me, you know. I don't want to sit here and feel as though, like, I don't want to do the bare minimum. Like, I want to be someone for the kingdom of God. I want to be an asset for the kingdom of God. When I meet God for judgment, I want him to, like, say, well done, and I want him to recognize me for the good that I did, not for, oh yeah, you was always cutting up. Send you to daycare and you just cutting up. It's always cutting up. Now I gotta damn you to hell because you was cutting up. Like, I don't want that. Like, I don't want that. So, this video is all over the place. I don't even know if I've even said enough. But I hope, like, what I did say blessed you guys, like, and just allows you to see, like, we go through things mostly for change, because the Lord wants to change our hearts. He wants to change our hearts and our minds and the way that we think. We go through things because we have free will. The Lord's not going to force himself on any of us. The Lord doesn't have any favorites. But when you trust God and when you let him order your steps, honestly, like, your life will be so much better. You'll be at peace. You'll be blessed with so much. Like, since I've lived where I live, it's been 2 years. And my car probably has more problems than it did before. But not once has my car broke down on me. Not once. And that's how I know that I'm within, that's how I know I'm where I need to be. Because that whole time when I was living in state, I had all those car issues, and there was, like, really nothing really wrong with my car. And my car would just be breaking down, you know, like, any little thing, my car would just be, like, clocking out. Like, and now my car, it has been through so much more now than before, and my car has been so strong. I just want us to trust God more, to not be afraid of him, because I feel like another reason why I would walk outside of his will is because I was kind of afraid of God. I'm like, oh, being a Christian, if I'm a true Christian, then I will always go through bad things. I I'll always have to overcome something, you know? I'll always have to be like, yeah, this happened to me, guys, and but the Lord brought me through this. Like, no, like, yeah, life happens, things happen, and being a Christian makes it easier, you know? It makes it, when you have a real relationship with God, it makes it easier to go through those things. And that's what you need to understand. Like, the Lord, He just wants you to love Him the way that He loves you. Like, we're all here for a reason and for a purpose. And when we trust in God, when we are aligned according to His will and to His purpose, then we will be blessed. We will be at peace. You'll be happy. Like, you will have so much joy. Like, being here, I'm more joyful than when I was living in state. Like, right now, like, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're looking for a sign that that person isn't for you, take this video as your sign. Like, if they're making you do things that's convicting you, like if you're having sex with this person and you're like, and that's not what you ever intended, or that's not what you even want anymore, you don't have to stay with someone. You don't have to accommodate to anybody. The only person that you have to please is the Lord. Okay? Like, when this life is said and done, you won't be answering to Charlie, you won't be answering to Amanda, you won't be answering to Sabrina or Miles. You'll be answering to God. And I want us all to be able to hear well done when we meet Him, and not get out of my face, you wicked, like I never knew you. Like, I don't want Him to be like, I don't want any of us to have to experience the Lord shunning us because we weren't bold enough to step out and be different. Like, we were called to a higher purpose. We were called to not be like this world, to be in this world, but not of it. We're more than conquerors. We've been fearfully and wonderfully made. Like, we just need to remember this. And, like, I remember, like, before, like, with even doing this video, like, I was just so like, I remember crying. Like, it was 5 days ago. I was crying in bed because I just felt like something needed to be done, like, within me or through me, but I didn't know how or what or when. And I felt like it was this video. Like, this video needs to be put out. But I'm just like, Lord, why me? Like, why are you asking me to do this? You know, like, I'm not perfect, you know, like, there's all these other people on YouTube right now that are, like, putting out videos and, like, their versions, like, like, it's always that, like, I'm always, like, so, like, their version, though, like, ask them. Like, and it's like, I remember the voice in me was just like, I'm not calling you to be perfect. I'm asking you to be obedient. And I was just like, okay. I remember, like, I was like, okay. And I was just like, I took a breath and I was like, Lord, I'll be obedient, but I need to be at peace. And I kid you not, like, immediately I stopped crying and I was at peace. And I was just like, okay, I'll make this video because I'm at peace. So that's kind of like the rundown on my life and just what I've been through and how God caused things to happen to me to push me towards Him, you know? Like, sometimes bad things do happen because the Lord wants to get our attention. It's like if something bad is happening in your life, whose attention do you have, you know? Who are you who are you putting your attention to? Who are you giving yourself to? Like, are you giving yourself to this world, or are you giving yourself to God? Because if you're giving yourself to God, then even if you're going through chaos or something bad, you'll be at peace, because God is a peaceful God. But if you're not at peace, then your attention may not be on God. Your attention may be on man. That's always how you know if you're within God's will. Are you at peace? If you're at peace, then I'm pretty sure you're within God's will, because the enemy, he can't give you peace. He's not at peace himself, so how can he give something that he's not even himself, you know? But the Lord is peace. So if you're at peace, you're most likely within God's will. But if you're over here anxious or sad or confused, definitely like anxious or confused, I'm pretty sure you're not within God's will. But yeah, the Lord be snitching, y'all. He snitched on me. He told on me. But yeah, like the Lord will snitch on you, girl, boy, whoever. Like, he will snitch on you. Just because that's how much he cares about you. Like, that's how much he cared about me, that he told the mother of my church what I did. She took that to her grave, y'all. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is all I'm gonna say. Hope I said enough. If you have any questions, comment, like this video, subscribe. Watch my previous videos, guys. Like, this is all new to me. I'm really trying to like be in this makeup tutorial type deal. I love makeup, even though I'm looking a little right now, but whatever. But yeah, like this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Be blessed, y'all. Bye.